Okay, it is 5:15 on Thursday, May 23rd. We are at the Marketing Communications Committee in the City Hall chambers. Just a reminder for everyone to turn your microphones on and to speak into them so that the recordings come through clearly on the recordings of our meetings. So we will call the meeting to order, and the first item of business is to consider approving the minutes from the previous meeting.
I will make that motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, a motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion on the minutes?
I have nothing.
Okay, hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No one opposed, so we will go to the next item. General agenda items for consideration. Discuss and consider the revenue and expense report. I asked Emily to include this in here for us this time around, and just trying to give you a brief overview of it. As most of you know, some of you maybe newer don't realize, but our funding for the marketing currently comes from the franchise fees from the cable that the city receives. Mm-hmm. And so in addition to what we spend on marketing, there are other things that come out of that franchise fee. So the things that I've highlighted in yellow, those are the items that we specifically budgeted for the marketing committee this last year. The other things were things that still came out of that fund, but we didn't directly have any decision-making process in those items as far as expenditures or budgeted amounts or anything like that. So that will be something for us to keep in mind going forward. The other thing to keep in mind going forward is this funding is still an uncertainty as far as guaranteed funding every year, so we'll need to keep that in mind going forward, that they can cut that at any point in time if they choose to. So anything that we can do to build up our own funding, if we truly feel marketing is a valuable asset that we need to continue pushing in order to promote our city and to promote what we have here to offer to potential new residents and employees, then we'll need to see what we can do to adjust for that. Page 5 is the page that Emily started up for us that has additional lines that show, I think these are the ones that we put into, mostly I think this is the Food Truckapalooza designations as far as the sponsor fees that came in and things like that, and the ARPA money that the council approved will show up in here, and then the expenses will come out of here. So we'll start to see a little bit more activity in that next month with that. I had sat down with Emily and Rod, and we kind of went through this a little bit earlier this month just to try and get a handle on it, to know where we were at with things. So I don't know if anyone has any questions, or Rod, if you have anything you want to throw in to comment. Or
There were some one-time expenditures on there, as far as some updates and some a few things that were, I think, budgeted for like 2.5 years, but were paid this year. Emily had mentioned those items. So we can't sustain it at this level with cable franchise fee, but again, those are one time, so don't be too alarmed at the numbers, and we will have to do a better job of getting a handle on it in the upcoming 2 years as far as making this fund last. So that's where we're at.
And I think also we had talked about some of the items that showed up as expenditures didn't specifically go to the correct line item this last time in this report, so Emily will be adjusting some of those for moving forward, like where it says the marketing contractor position. That was kind of redesignated to cover most of our Midwest Communications marketing contract, and I don't think that it looks like any of the expenses for that so far have been applied to that specific line. They've gone up above, I think, to where it says Midwest Communications monthly ads. So just for information purposes.
Could you explain that to me again a little bit slower? How did we get to $11,000?
We have 2 separate contracts through Midwest Communications.
Okay.
One of them goes, we signed last September for a year, and I believe that one is like $1,200 a month that we pay for digital marketing throughout the state. And then we expanded that rather than hire a marketing consultant position on staff. We decided to work with them as our marketing consultant as far as that goes. So we did a second contract with them that is from November to November. That was, I think, like $28,000 for the year. I don't remember what the monthly breakdown of it was, but that's where those numbers are coming from.
Thank you.
Any other questions on those for now?
I have none currently.
Okay. The next item on the agenda, the Food Truckapalooza preliminary results and discussion. Hallie just handed out a overview, and I will be the first to say, awesome job, Hallie. You really set the standard bar high for next time around. So.
Don't scare me like that.
I would like to say too, I've heard a few things obviously about Food Truckapalooza. Unfortunately, I was not able to get to the grounds until after 4:30. So after everybody,
You were out of
basically
luck.
left. Yeah, that is what it is. I talked with a few of the food trucks themselves. They were enjoying it. I talked to a few of the vendors. They definitely enjoyed it. The only complaint that I heard was that the lines were long, which, oh darn, in my opinion. I would say that's a great business.
Yeah, and
because if the lines were long, that means demand is up. If demand's up, that means we can expand.
And how silly for us not to have some idea what to expect the very first time we do this.
Exactly. So I know I had heard some people say that, get complaints from their friends that are outside the city, like towards Milwaukee area, that were mad at their friends for not telling them about the event because they would have came up. So I think we are on to something. I know I've heard wants and desires for us to do it monthly during the summer or twice a year, which I'm looking at it going twice a year might happen in a number of years. I would say it's possible, but monthly during the summer times, nope, that's not us.
It'll lose its luster if we do it that often.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a few things that I've heard, wanted to say that I've heard. So other than that, fantastic job by both yourself, Mayor Haas, and Rod. Everyone that also put their hands in it. This was a great event.
Yeah.
The only thing, the only negative I had was I showed up too late and all the food was gone except for the donuts, which contributed to my delinquency and weight. The only other feedback I got was let's not have it interfere with the garage sales the next time. That they felt that they might have had a lot more people had it not been at the same day. But that's, did we make any money? The other question I had was, did all the vendors pay the same, or was it based on size of the trailer, or what?
All the vendors paid the same.
Okay.
They all paid $25. They had the 20-foot slot, and that's where they went. The vendors for the craft show paid the same. If they had 2 spaces, they paid 2 spaces.
Okay. Yeah, all the ones that I talked to enjoyed it. They said for what they got charged to be here, they'll be back. Did we make any priorities for locals first? Better spots or anything like that for the people that work here in town?
Once they got there, it was kind of a, how long is your extension cord for your truck?
Okay.
And then we kind of split them into where they could fit.
Okay.
So we had a couple that used their generators because their cord didn't work
Yep.
or wasn't compatible, or whatever reason. But otherwise, it was kind of a first come, first serve, and that's what I did with the craft and vendors too.
Okay.
They didn't care for that as much. So I'm looking at revamping for next year on how to label each individual spot somehow.
I would hope we give the local vendors priority, choice of where they want to go first. The money stays here, help support our local community. And, there's no bad spot. It's just,
Are you talking
know.
food trucks or crafters or both?
yes.
Okay.
Both. Yeah.
I just, between 75 crafters, it's a little difficult because they say where they, or who they want to be with, and everybody wants the front prime spot, and
But to say out of 75, my assumption would be almost 45 of them would technically be local. You're going to have 45 prime spots. I'm just
Well, in that case,
pointing that out.
it's first
Yeah.
come, first serve. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Exactly. That's
let's put us first. Yeah.
The bigger sponsors, you did give them preferential treatment as far as location.
yeah.
So I think that was good. And the chamber helped us with the beer tent and the wristbands, so
Yeah.
that was good.
Cheryl did amazing helping out Saturday.
Yep.
And we've participated in events on a regular basis, and registration for assignment is first come, first serve.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're coming from.
The
And
only,
typically, that's
the only,
otherwise it's difficult.
yeah. The only other thing I can think of is as they sign up and send in their paperwork and their check, that's the number they get unless they specifically want to be by somebody, and then they get put down by the bottom because they want to be with a friend.
I'm going to say first come,
Right.
first serve to me says for signing up.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
kind of how I take it.
Yeah, and that's typically how we've done it.
I like the preferential treatment, but I can't make everybody happy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying let's put our
Right.
local vendors first. That's all.
I noticed you had a survey out on Facebook already, which I
Yep.
think is great. I hope people will participate in that
Yes.
because,
I have 75 responses so far.
good. And I think as far as the garage sales, it's going to be hard to know because,
On that form, I asked if they thought it affected the garage sales positively, negatively, or if it didn't affect the garage sales at all. And I think only 3 out of the 75 responses said it affected them negatively. The garage sales go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and most shut down early on Saturday. And everything's generally picked over by then. So in my opinion, I don't feel like it affects it that much. If anything, it brings more people into the community to go to the garage sales. And the craft and vendors are not garage sale type things.
Right.
So they're two different things. Like if I was having garage sales at the Food Truckapalooza, I could see that being a little upsetting, but they're two completely different focuses, in my opinion.
right?
Yeah. There's nothing upsetting. I'm just saying it was mentioned.
Oh, it's
So-
been mentioned a few.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen it on the face of books.
No, you did a very,
It's-
very nice job.
Thank you.
When you look at disposable income, where people have cash at certain times of the summer and they spend it on garage sales or food or whatever, it probably did affect some sales both ways. It could have affected our food sales too, as far as somebody spending at the citywide
Yeah.
garage
Now,
sales. So
are we
it's-
going to try to do another one yet this summer?
No.
Or we're not, just once a year?
once a year right now.
For me to get sponsors and to get everything set up and situated, I realize that I have a platform for this year, or to go off of, but I think it's asking a lot.
Yeah, I think we also
Yeah.
need to be able to regroup and see how we actually did as far as, I mean, that's information that will still be
And the
coming
weather
in.
really helped out.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Truly, I think the stage has been set for other groups to rent out the grounds and
Right.
do their own food truck palooza
Of
type
some
of
sort.
event of some sort throughout the summer if
Or
they
whatever
wanted
else
to.
they want to, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of my thought is like, if anyone else wants to do it, get your own nonprofit to
Right.
go and work it.
The one thing, you were talking about the long lines. With the food trucks, I've seen where the food truck owners, they limit the number of items they have on their menu.
Yep.
So it speeds up service a little bit, and that might be something that you would, want them to consider. Keep to the number of items that you have on your menu to 3 or 4, so that the prep work that they're doing in the trailers is much
easier.
quicker, because they're only dealing with
Right.
so many items.
Well, from what I understood too, a lot of the vendors also ran out of food
Well-
before 4 o'clock because they were that swamped.
Right,
So
and
then
if they
you're-
know that they have
yeah.
just those 3 or 4 items that they have to have the materials for, they can prepare better.
Right,
Well,
maybe.
yeah, now they can, hopefully.
Well, yeah.
This year, we just had no idea.
Oh, no, you
They
didn't.
asked me how many
Absolutely.
people to expect, and I couldn't tell
Right.
them. And I got a phone call from Cheese Curds of Wisconsin, and on their website, it says if you don't have, and talk to us if you are expecting over 3,000 people. So I didn't even reach out to them because I didn't want to be told no.
Right.
And he called me Monday morning at 8:05 and wondering why I didn't reach out. Because it says 3,000 people and I didn't know.
Yeah. No.
So
Right.
now I know.
Yep.
Yep, no, overall, fantastic job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you going to send out like some thank you cards or something to the sponsors and stuff?
Definitely.
then?
That
Okay.
is on my
Good,
to-do
good.
list.
And I think maybe one thing that we could add for next year is just to coordinate something with the fire and police for weather issues.
Yep.
Because when those clouds started rolling in, it was looking a little tenuous. It's like, what do we do with all these people down here at?
I know Brad Becker went and got his key for the Expo Center, just in case we needed to move everybody down. But that was all we had, and Phil and him both talked, and we had,
Yeah.
I would say a
Agreed.
thank you to him is also
yes.
very much warranted. I know he helped out a lot, from my understanding, so.
Yes.
All right. Mayor, you have any comments to add on?
Just if I'm very happy it was a success. We all put a lot of time and effort into this. Hallie, her whole family was down there pitching in, and yeah,
Was your
it-
boys picking garbage up?
yeah.
My boys pick garbage for money,
Oh, that was nice.
and
though.
he recruited his friends, and he gave them all $1.
That's the spirit of entrepreneurship. That's what we're looking for.
I was
No,
thinking
but
we
I-
could have used them as trash compactors to make more room.
Yeah, we needed more garbages. We definitely needed
Yeah.
more garbages, but now we know.
But overall, I'm very happy with it. Yeah, we'll have to go through the reviews that come in and go from there. The vendors I've talked to, though, more than happy and ready to go next year. But
Yep. Yeah.
Make it bigger and badder next year.
I think even the car show could kind of take off of what you did there with the food vendors and get more. I mean, there's only 2 or 3 of them down there at that time, but it may draw people in for the spectators of the car show. I mean, that's what you're looking for, so it may be something to pass along to the Lions and the Park Department too. Where
Yeah, I had somebody mention doing a car show in conjunction with the Food Truckapalooza too, in the spring, because there's not really one at that time. So that might be an idea, but again, that's something I know nothing about.
Would having the permanent stands have the option of being open? Does that go against the theme of Food Truckapalooza?
It kind of does, I would say.
Kind of, but we're gonna have to revisit that when it comes to the beverages. Because one beer stand was not enough this
No.
time.
I saw that.
Well, and even just to have a separate one for just water, I
Yep.
mean, when you're there with a bunch of little kids who are thirsting and.
That was my mistake.
Yeah.
That was a learning curve, because I wanted everything to be one general beverage area. So then the food trucks couldn't price it up at $3-4 a piece for a can, and have different prices for all the food trucks. This way, it was all one price for all the beverages. But then that caused the longer line and everything. So
Who got all the wristband money?
the wristband money is coming back to the city.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yes. Yep, that
Good.
came back to the city.
Because I hope we made enough to at least cover the cost of the power and trash and anything that was broke.
you look at some of that, and that's
Restroom cleanup.
the I won't say cost of doing business, but you brought people in who spent money at gas stations and other places while they were here. So it's I wouldn't say it's all about making a profit, but it's a bonus.
Yeah.
It would be a bonus if we made profit or even got close to breaking even.
I was happy with the sponsorships they covered.
Yeah.
So that helps, and hopefully in the future, we won't need to focus so heavy on sponsorships, but getting their name out there is beneficial as well.
I mean, the thing about the beverages, what you could possibly do is for whoever the truck vendor is, let them know that this is the amount that you can charge. You indicate, you tell them what they can charge, and they can't go above that.
Right.
And that's where I've seen that.
Yeah, I am definitely looking for ideas for that for next year.
I would also say you could probably talk with either Pepsi or Coca-Cola, and they can probably help get not only pricing for their stuff, but also bring the beverages in and then help provide that to the vendors. I know the fair does that, but that's kind of just how the fair does that business.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the rodeo does it, but I'm sure it's kind of the same.
May I just make a comment on the beverages? I worked in one of the food trucks, and the last thing we needed was to add one more thing that we needed
Right.
to do.
Yeah.
So having the beverages someplace else was very, very nice.
Okay.
Because then the food trucks could just concentrate on the food. And the reason that the lines were so big, food trucks aren't made like a restaurant. You have one little spot where you make your food. And we did, the truck that I was in, there were only like 5 sandwiches you could pick from. But then you get people coming up, I don't want onions, I don't want pickles, I don't want this, I just want cheese, I don't want...
Yeah.
Pick it
the
off.
special orders were just ridiculous. It's like, are you kidding me? Just pick it off.
No, I
But, yeah, so the truck that I was
Special of the day,
in-
pick-off sandwiches.
Yeah, they tried limiting it to a smaller amount, but it just,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I fully agree with Lori. I've worked in the food trucks themselves before. I mean, probably 20 years ago, but a lot of the stuff you got to just make special on the fly. That's just the nature of the business. So, but as far as getting like Pepsi or Coca-Cola to come, I'm not saying like the food trucks themselves have to sell it, but maybe we could have one of the permanent stands open just to sell.
Or
That
just
for
have
us.
a tent.
Or just have a tent.
Right.
1 or 2 tents, one on each side
Yeah.
or something. I honestly, I wasn't able to be there. But you can ask the nonprofits or
Yeah.
Boy Scouts or someone that is going to maybe be able to benefit from it too,
Right.
to run just
That's kind of how
the soda pop stand.
I know the way the fair does it is we get Pepsi to come in, and the last, I don't even know how many years that we've been doing it, the Boy Scouts have been the ones that came in and delivered all of it. This upcoming year, it's going to be the the Haunted Sawmill group. They're going to be coming in and doing that. So that's just another thought process of, having one of those actually just sell it for us, and then we
Right.
give a donation
Nope,
or
I'm
something to help them out.
all
Or
for,
to say thank you. So
Yeah.
it's an idea.
Well, I'm going to again say thank you, Hallie. You did a great
Yes.
job. And
One more thing I just wanted to mention. Have you picked up all this? I know you haven't picked up all of them, but do you want me to pick up the
no,
yards?
I will grab the rest.
Okay.
Yeah. My kids are going back to school tomorrow, so
Okay. I was like, there's the one out on Center and
Yep.
O'Day that I
Yep, nope.
oh, I should have stopped and grabbed that, but
Nope, I will get them tomorrow morning.
okay.
All right, then I think we'll just kind of move on from there for now and keep going. But
I just want to say thank you for
Oh.
believing in me. That's all. Like, I truly ran with the event and I didn't know what we were expecting or how it was going to go. So thank you for dealing with the crazy for the last 9 months. It's been,
I have one last question. How much did the chamber spend on promoting this?
I don't know that we per se spent money on promoting this, but it was in our visitor guide, which obviously we had over 13,000 copies printed, and we've distributed at least 10,000 so far. We've talked about it on the radio weekly for a while probably, and then bi-weekly the last couple times I've been on, but
Shared it on your page. And
yeah, we've shared it on our Facebook page and all of that, but
Okay.
we didn't per se spend money.
Okay, so no print or anything? Okay.
Well, and that was done through Midwest Communications. They did quite a bit of that.
and the photo news did quite a bit too.
We had a press release that went out, Hallie sent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. So next year we'll have 6,000 people.
You never know.
Well, the only thing that we really have to look at is what do we do besides like the cornhole? Is there something else that would be,
Better profit
Is
or
there-
better.
Draw.
opportunity to have somebody, an entertainer earlier in the day as far as, or another tent of entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
I think your idea combining Food Truckapalooza with an event would even bring more. What do you call it?
A car show.
Smashing
or-
cars.
a demo,
Demo
derby.
Demolition derby.
It gets so loud. Like, I was thinking like a
Oh, yeah,
quieter
yeah, yeah,
event.
Yeah.
But I was told like bingo would go over really well in a tent with walls, or a cribbage tournament, something like that to keep it on the quieter end where people can kind of come and go. Something on the noisier side would really affect the music and entertainment.
Right.
There has been a couple other people talking about if their event gets too big, they may want to move it to the festival grounds, like a barbecue cook-off and a couple of other things like that, which what we're looking for. People to use it. We'd like it used every weekend if we could, where we didn't have to do all the work ourselves.
Right.
But if you look at Pork in the Park, what they used to be, something along those lines where the Rib Fest or Barley Fest, I mean, we've had it at the Mark before, but we can use the grounds.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this will spur some other people to come up with some other suggestions and ideas of their own as well, come up with a few events, but.
That maybe their own nonprofits can do and not just the city.
Something.
Yeah.
Horse show.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on, and we'll, we can continue to discuss this all next year until the next one, so we'll just keep the cards and thoughts coming, but in the meantime, the next item on the agenda is the shared photo library, and Nathan, you were going to do a little bit more investigating into that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we were not able to. It's been quite a busy month for us at the Media Production Lab, but this is something that will definitely be ramped up with graduation being tomorrow. It's kind of the end of our year, I guess, at the Media Productions Lab. So, but speaking of graduation, we will be getting photos and videos for that, not only for obviously those seniors that are graduating and becoming contributing members of society. We'll get that for some of our ads through Midwest Communications, and I've got a great young student that is not only interested but has been helping with photography the last few years, actually for the chamber, or at least her dad has been helping with the chamber, so she's currently enrolled with us and working out very, very well, and I'm very happy with the group of students that I have helping us right now. Other than that, we went to a conference that gave us a few insights on what other cities are doing what other stations are doing for their cities, and looking forward this summer to hopefully implement some of those for our marketing strategy. So,
Okay. And hopefully we can be building up, even if we don't have a joint photo library, we can each be building up what we have for now, so that when we're able to combine them, that everybody's got something to go with.
yeah, I'll be emailing Dustin probably on Tuesday to try to set up a time to start looking into this. So,
Okay.
Hallie, would you like to be involved in that email, or
Not at this time.
not at this time? Okay.
She'll take some pictures, though.
I'm hoping she took a bunch of pictures of Food Truckapalooza.
My
so.
son did, and I got some from Dawn Dunbar. As long as we give her photo credit, we're good.
Perfect.
She's got amazing food pictures. I'm excited. I'm hungry
Perfect.
looking at them.
All right. Okay, well, then we will bring that back for the next meeting. Item number 4, the standing banners update, as far as something similar to what the chamber has to Did you get a chance to work on that at all, Hallie?
My notes right here on the back of my page I just handed out says standing banners talk with Sarah. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
So we've gotten about as far as I got with the photo
Yes.
library. Got it.
Been a little busy and preoccupied.
Okay, well, then we'll bring that back in June, too.
We asked a lot of us this last month, I think, Ladonna.
I know, but, it was on last month's agenda to bring it back this month, so I'm
Yep.
just following through on my end. So, item number 5, street banners that we put out for the businesses. I did contact the company to find out how many we actually had, and they said that we had 26 paid sponsors who sponsored 49 individual banners throughout the community. So I don't know if that's more than last time, less than last time, way down from last time. That's what I thought. It seemed like a very expensive thing this time around. So I don't know that we'll be pushing forward with that too much in the future. I don't know.
Does the city own our own printer to make our own banners? What if we look into purchasing that?
That's a
Those are pretty heavy-duty canvas.
Yeah.
I understand. I used them all the time at UWSP.
Yep.
yeah.
Didn't seem like it was that big of an expense. I could actually go back and call the student government and say, what did we pay for that darn thing years ago?
Yeah,
But,
you got to think that was how many years ago.
But I'm just saying, if we look at how much...
The price of just a general computer for me has skyrocketed. through
Young man, I
Well-
graduated from UWSP when I was 51 years old,
Well, I'm just
so it's not that long ago.
But, I don't know how often we use it to justify the
yeah.
investment for
There's a
either.
couple different options. We've seen people, sponsor their graduate and want their pictures up on the banners. We've seen wanting to sponsor a veteran with their name on it, with the company. There's a couple different ways I think we should look at. And we can add that into it, what would it cost to do our own, but
Yeah.
maybe more something for like the Fab Lab if they had the ability to do it, something
Right.
like that.
Yeah, I don't know if the Fab Lab does have that opportunity, but it's not. It doesn't hurt to ask. The worst they could say is no, we don't have that capability.
To buy something like that to make banners once a year, I think we'd be.
I think if we had it, it would be used a lot more from different departments across the board.
Yeah.
I think if the Fab Lab had the ability to do it, it would be a great way of incorporating and working together, with them to kind of do something that
And
way.
they've already proven to do great work for us already.
Do they do the volleyball players or the people that are on the windows over there
Oh, yeah.
now? I think there's a bunch of.
Honestly, they could. They could be. I honestly couldn't say yes or no to that one, but I can definitely look into that.
I know the marching band used to have these big
Yeah, the
pictures
marching-
made too.
The
at
marching band, the
graduation.
cheerleaders, the football teams. They get them from somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's through the Fab Lab or if that's through Rindell, because I know they have a very good working relationship with Rindell as well. So
Well, Nathan, we'll let you check on that.
I will. Can I
For-
borrow your
for
pen quick?
June.
So I
My
can-
goodness.
They make pens too.
What's that?
Do they make pens too?
It's possible. I don't know
demand.
everything that they do, honestly.
They made a very nice sign.
They do make
Did they make that?
Yep, they made the
Awesome.
sign above the mayor's perch there, and they made all of our new signs,
Name placards?
name placards that
They
are
did.
up there.
And they just recently did all of the signage for the library for all of our rooms.
Nice.
Awesome. That's great. That would be kind of a neat story to put, for somebody to put out somewhere.
Yep. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint, somebody somewhere. I don't know. Okay, item number 6, Chamber of Commerce update. Sarah, do you have anything to share with us that?
Yeah, I just want to mention we held an HR workshop on May 15th. We had about 13 area businesses attend, but probably the biggest bullet point from the 3-hour event was just that we need employees. It's hard to get employees and like serious employees, or at least applicants. So I did mention about the city, dispersing some geofencing to areas that had recently had layoffs. So just showing them that the city is trying to do their part to help people move to the area and join the workforce here. And then we are obviously, and I know we're getting to that bullet point, we're working hard on our visitor guide. Teresa has sold a lot of ads already, but we're hoping to have that in hand by about January 1st this coming year. And we're going to get about 20,000 copies this year because we're going to be adding one more visitor trade show to our travel show to our repertoire, and that's the Duluth show. So just lots going on with that. And then we have our golf outing coming up on June 3rd. So I know I know some names in this room might be on that list to golf, but we're looking forward to that. But if anyone wants to just
Is there still
stop by.
openings for that?
No, we are
Oh.
totally maxed out.
Forget
Like
that then.
totally maxed out.
Right.
We were only going to take about 32 to 34 teams. We're at 36. So quick play rules will be highly in effect.
Don't look at me then. I'm
Anything
not a quick
goes,
play.
is that what it is?
Pretty much.
If anybody needs a sub, let me know. I've never golfed, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds good.
Can I make a suggestion on employment recruiting? Being retired military, I did 26 years Navy. There's a retirement class or people getting out down at Great Lakes. And if we're looking for almost any rate you want, from medical to nurses to welders, you name it, those rates are available from people getting out of the service, are retirees. And the benefit of hiring a retiree is, we don't need health care, we don't need dental eye care, we don't need a retirement fund, we don't need that stuff, but we need to feel placed, a part of something. And if I was in somebody's shoes, I would have a table at once a month or more at these classes down at Great Lakes, which are training retirees for retirement. Here's what you can expect. And there are tables down there of employers looking to hire. I think maybe the chamber or someone else, an influential member of our city government, maybe go down there and recruit. These are highly qualified, disciplined people, and they would be a bonus to this community. So just a thought.
I don't disagree with you, but it may be something that we get out to the employers in the area saying this is an opportunity.
absolutely.
Because they're the ones that can actually talk about a job and the openings and those kind of things. We can go down there and say, come to Merrill, but if we don't know what we're talking about as far as what the opportunities are, I think that would be the best way to do it, is let people know that, hey, this is an opportunity to get retired military that
Well, I
actually
brought it
have
up
some
because-
work experience.
Yeah, I brought it up because it was told to the chamber, hey, we need to recruit people to come to Merrill for employment.
Yep.
That topic, actually, I think that actual type of conversation did occur at the HR workshop, is something
Nice.
very similar to that, about having the businesses go down to these types of events as well.
And that kind of links back to, we had talked, I don't know if it was the last meeting, about linking up to that Synergy website that has...
on Centergy. So we did talk about how there's the Chamber Facebook or Chamber website that they can post their jobs. They can also obviously then post with the Job Center of Wisconsin Workforce Development page as well, and there's preferential benefits by doing both of those types of things. But it was a very good conversation and very good speakers from the Job Center of Wisconsin, and Angel Langlaw from Centergy was there, and NTC on how they're training or teaching their students right now and going out into the workforce. So
I think IT and websites are nice. It's a good tool, but I think
definitely, it's one of those
you
when
got to
you
be there. You got to
meet
go
the
knock
nice,
on,
friendly
tap their
people.
shoulder and say, "Come this way." Give them a little direction. A website just doesn't do it. You have to be there. So
Definitely is
how we
one
get
of
this
those.
out, I'll be glad to help employers or anybody in town that wants to go down to the retirement classes at Great Lakes. I can maybe try to coordinate something with some people I know still down there.
Okay. Anything else, Sarah?
That's all I can think of right now.
Okay. All right. Then we will move on to just some items that we're going to need to be kicking around. I don't know if there are any upcoming events we need to be focusing on promoting for the city itself right now. If anybody thinks of anything, but I think
Rodeo, it's coming up in 2 weeks.
Rodeo fair. What else is?
The Black Squirrel Scurry
Black Squirrel
is always
Scurry,
something that I
yeah.
promote.
I mean, we've got a number of citywide events that are going to be going on. Those three, the big ones that we've had for a number of years. I don't know if there's anything else going on off the top of my head.
Sure, there'll be a ton of tournaments coming up here in the next month as far as
softball.
into June.
Yeah. And
Yep.
probably.
May 31st to the 1st, yeah.
Yep.
And I think, too, is a good time to promote the bike trails and the kayaking or canoeing or whatever is available in
Horseback
council grounds
The
area.
new canoe lift is in at Otts if anybody wants to go take a look at it. It's pretty fancy.
I'll take my camera down there.
It is very nice, but parents beware, there's no railing around this pier.
On the canoe side there is, but not on the,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so that takes care of some of the upcoming ones. Sorry, not trying to push you guys, but we are kind of getting to where we need to push. So next thing, we will have to come up with what we want to do for that visitor's guide. I think the deadline is August 1st, so we will definitely need to work on that the next two, come with maybe a rough idea of what we want to do next meeting and how much we want to promote or whatever, and
Dates.
the dates for other future activities like the next Food Truckapalooza.
May 17th, 2025.
There you go.
Okay. So we'll have that for the next meeting. And Hallie, you are going to be busy, I guess, still, from the looks of it.
I am.
GEM grant application, that was like an August deadline, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's an August and then I think a December deadline, but you need to have it 6 months ahead. So my goal is to shoot for that August deadline, so we have enough time to make revisions if we need to. So that is my new baby
Okay.
with
All
help.
right.
One big project at a time, right?
Yep. And that GEM grant's a big project. There's a lot there that they want to know. And once I get the numbers down from this last weekend, then I can start plugging things into what they want to have for information.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. And then one of the other things that we will need to be starting to kick around is looking at the performance of the Midwest Communications stuff that they've been doing for us. And being able to review that in light of, do we want to make any changes or any tweaks or fine tuning, and do we, which of those contracts, both those contracts, what do we want to do with those contracts when they come up for renewal? Because we'll need to consider that with the budget stuff. So those are just things to be keeping in mind for the next upcoming meeting. Does anybody have any comments on any of those things under that future marketing considerations?
Not currently.
Future marketing considerations, so this is where I can bring up my ideas for future events, or?
Well, this was, we were just talking about what we could promote for upcoming events and
Not creating
I
events.
can
Yeah,
I can
I-
barely hear you.
I'm sorry. I guess if you have ideas for new events, you probably should have us put that on the agenda next time and just say, these are
So
ideas
there's
for
no open discussion, okay.
for new events, but that, we're just looking about which things are coming up that are existing right now that we
Got
can
it.
promote going forward. Okay, monthly reports. Hallie's got her other monthly reports in here besides her overview of the Food Truck Palooza. Did anybody have any questions or comments or anything for her on those?
I did have one quick little thing. I believe I was looking at the Facebook or the YouTube pages today, and I believe the city of Merrill one has a 29th subscriber.
Yes.
So just a quick little update of it's not at 28, it is at 29. We're slowly creeping up.
We're slowly creeping there.
But the number of people that are watching the meetings, and even just the meetings page, the number is pretty consistent on how many people are actually going back and watching our meetings. So I mean, I think that's a good thing, because then people are actually paying attention to what's going on with our city politics. So that's a good thing.
Can we post a link to the Facebook page, or I mean to the YouTube stuff from Facebook?
Sure
so
can.
that people can go to it and then sign up for it if they want to, or at least go to it.
Yeah, just to know it's there. I think
Just to
some
know.
people would appreciate that, even if they don't subscribe to it, just to have the people
Right.
know it's available. We're being transparent.
I think I have it as a pinned post up on top, but I can always repost it.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I
would
know I did a lot of sharing of it too with
Yeah.
the alderperson interviews on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
and
those
all that.
those got some really good numbers, actually. I was very
They did.
impressed.
Yeah. What about the mayor's communications or his radio interviews? Can we put any of that, a link to any of that from the Facebook page at all?
I can do that, yeah.
You know, that might be a good filler every now and then or whatever.
Otherwise, no true questions on the report. I think it's all looking pretty good.
Okay, next one is the Midwest Communications Report. I guess it looks to me like we're you know,
It seems like we're doing good according to what they're telling us and what the actual report's saying. So.
yeah, the reports they're simplified and yet they're complicated. According to what Cameo says, that .09 complete, their CTR, what is that, complete through? or
Basically,
click-through
click-through rate. Basically, it's saying how many people are hitting the skip button before, actually completing the video, which it says 93% of them are actually completing the whole video. So that's in video terms, that's a good thing.
Well, they are only
they-
15 seconds. So
are they actually paying attention to it? Because the point, let's just say the 6% that are not completing it through, most likely are seeing an ad and then just going, oh, nope, I don't want to watch that, and then backing away. That's kind of, at least my experience with those things. But overall, I think the numbers are really good. It's just, I think the question becomes how, and I'm not saying they're not doing a good job. I just think the overall question that people would be asking of us is, are these actually making a difference with the number of people that are coming and visiting and the number of people that are moving here? And I guess we won't know those answers probably even another year, I would say, almost. Rod,
Other than measurables, you can't,
yeah.
unless it's a survey that they answer that way, you're not going to be able to measure that.
Right, no, I agree with that.
didn't we do some special something in some of like the visitor's guide or in some of these different places to let us know where they were getting this information, where they were coming to us from?
It does sound familiar.
This
but
is
I
the
can't
stuff
remember.
where it's important to Scott. And the rest of us are like,
No, and I thought Cameo had mentioned something about the markets that they are hitting, and then seeing when those people come into our market, that she could tell that as far as the geofencing. So again, we should probably have them here quarterly to explain some of that stuff.
Right.
yeah.
Over here in June.
Will we have time with all of our other stuff? I can, yeah, we can ask for it. But, and they did, I did ask her to have our account executive or whoever is managing our account to kind of review to see if they had any suggestions for now as far as redoing anything or targeting anything differently.
Yeah.
And that's what that last page in the packet is about, is to just say, that based on current things, it doesn't seem like there's anything they would change right now.
Yeah, that we could remove one little thing, but it's not like it's underperforming. It's just kind of performing okay. Okay, I don't see a reason then to take it out if it's performing up to standard, I guess.
And I do think that page with the pie chart that shows the impact of the food truckapalooza stuff being hit through on there, I think that kind of does show that obviously they're able to shift things and make changes that are noticeable. Whether they're impactful all the way through, I guess I don't know where we're at with that, but we can see that they're reaching different people that way.
Came from Hayward. They lost their phone and left it here.
Really? Did you call them and tell them?
They called us at the end of the night, so.
And we're not the only ones marketing. I mean, every city is up their game, so we're competing even more. It doesn't mean don't do anything, but we may not see the results that we would have if we were the only ones. So it's going to be hard to put a number to it, and what is it worth for us to advertise and those kind of. We're going to have to use their judgment as professionals on how to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they told us, they said, we'll give you our best take on what's the most bang for your buck, so we have to listen to them.
And I think so far they've been doing a fantastic job. So, Bob, any?
The only thing I would ask it on these reports that somebody put their name on it, so if I have questions after I read some things, I know who I can approach.
The Midwest Communications stuff, are you talking about, or?
Any reports that we put on here, hey, put a name on it.
So the social media specialist report does have a name on it, and it's Miss Hallie Saval. So, Midwest, I guess, would kind of go through you, LaDonna, to forward, or.
It'd be Cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just send you Cameo's email or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can talk to her.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, I will make a motion to accept and place the committee reports on file.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion is passed. And the last item is public comment. Do you have any other public comment to contribute right now? No one on the phone. Okay. Hearing none. Note that the next meeting is scheduled for June 27th, which is the last Thursday of the month, and that's because I will be gone the Thursday prior for. So.
I will also be on vacation, so that works out wonderfully.
Okay. Well, there we go. So that meeting will be on June 27th at 5:15. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Thank you.